So I get asked from time to time, what 3D printers do I actually personally use? And there's 4 that are always set up in my basement down here that I use. 3 of which are always just kind of sitting, waiting to go, and then 1 I just normally just tinker around with. And we're going to talk about the 3 that I normally use, the 1 I play with, and what printer I would recommend for somebody wanting to get into 3D printing. And also, the one I use for the Fan Showdown, I use 2 for the Fan Showdown, but the one that I need for this next episode is it's broken. So we're going to try to fix it, because we got fans to print, like always. So these 3 printers are pretty much the workhorse of the channel. Almost every single project you've ever seen on the channel came from one of these 3 printers, except for like way in the early days. I had a TiVo Tarantula Pro before that, which I hated, and I gave that to a friend, and then I felt bad and gave him another printer. But the first printer I pretty much ever bought other than the TiVo was the Prusa Mk3s, and this thing has been great. I've had almost no issues with the Prusa. It's one of those printers that you just hit play, and 99% of the time it's going to finish, and I love it, and it always works very well for me, and I don't regret buying it. It's not the cheapest printer in the world, but if you want something that actually is going to work every single time, highly recommended. Now, this one is a printer I didn't really think I would like as much as I do. This is the Ender 7, and when this thing came out, there was a little bit of controversy about how, basically around the build quality of it, if it was going to be robust or not. I think it's pretty good. I've had really, again, no major issues with it. It's basically like an overflow printer. When this one's busy doing something, I need to print something else easy, throw it on this guy. It has a pretty decent size build volume, and it just works. The only thing I don't like about it is it doesn't have automatic bed leveling, but in saying that, it is pretty good at maintaining levelness. Once you set it manually, it normally stays pretty consistent between prints. And I do like it. It's a little pricey, but if the Ender 3, which is a printer that's pretty popular, I've never used, is anything like the Ender 7, that's probably a good printer to start out with. It's not like a Core XY like this, but I've heard good things about it, and I do like the Ender 7 if you want to pick one of these up. And then last but not least,
you have some nice moves,
is the Qidi. This is probably the newest printer I have. I like this one because it's one, dual extruder, so I can print PVA and PLA models. It's very good for the Fan Showdown. Printing fans that are more complicated and need special support material, and it's easy to remove because it just dissolves away. And also, this is the one we have issues with. It's not printing the best. If you want to look at this Fan Showdown fan, it kind of looks okay, but it's very, very thin. There's some major under extruding issues going on with this one right now, so we gotta kind of figure that out. But first, let's go look at the fourth printer that's always sitting around and ready to go. So last but not least, this is my Flsun Super Racer. And this is kind of the printer that sits over here in the corner, and I just kind of mess around with. I print little knickknacks. I try different goofy slicer settings out, print fast, print slow. I try things on this printer that I don't want to put on my other printers that are more geared towards supporting the channel. And I don't know what I'm doing now, but I'm sure I'm messing with something. I don't know. I was doing some extruder calibration here earlier, but I really do like the Flsun printers. I like Delta printers. They just look cool. They're fun to watch print. The SR is, I've never, again, not had many issues with the SR. Most of the printers that are sitting out here that I use a lot are ones I don't have issues with. If I have issues with them, I normally go to the closet.
Get back in there!
Or I give them to friends. But the Flsun SR replaced one of the printers that I've recommended in the past to friends and you guys out there as a printer I would recommend as a starting printer. That's the Flsun Q5. I had that printer for a long time. I just gave it to my brother. And that printer worked very, very good. It's kind of small. It's 200 by 200, where the SR is a little bit bigger, but the SR, again, a little more expensive, but would recommend this one as well. I really enjoy it, but if you want to start out, the Q5 is probably a printer that I've personally had experience with that I really enjoy, that I would recommend for somebody wanting to get into 3D printing. And I'll leave links to all this stuff down below if you want to check it out, see which one's right for you. But now let's go back over and deal with the big boy and see what's wrong with it. Hopefully it's something simple, because that fan I showed you a minute ago that's kind of breaking up, it's a long print. We need to get that going. Okay, so extruder 1, the actual model material printer head, is the one that's giving me issues. The support material, the PVA printer head, is doing pretty good. So we'll see, hopefully it's just clogged and we'll clear it out and we'll be on our way. So I think I can see some filament down there, so it's hopefully just jammed. I'll see if I can get these tips off without having to heat it back up. I'm gonna have to plug it in. Well, my PTFE tube is clogged. Nozzle looks okay. I guess we'll replace both of them and should be back in business. So that seemed a little too easy, so I decided to check the extruder, and if you look down in there, it's kind of hard to see. There's a little bit of orange, which is the color filament I was using when it jammed up. So I'll have to take that apart too. I think there's a blockage in the extruder itself, and then we should be good. So there you go. It's easier to see now that I got it all tore apart. There's our jam. We should be back in business real soon. Yes, everything's looking good so far. I'm running a first layer test to make sure the bed is dialed in like it was before, and if this turns out good, we'll start the fan again, which is like a day and a half print. Takes quite a while. Want to make sure it finishes nicely, because that's actually the next fan for the next episode of the Fan Showdown, that one and 3 other ones that are around here, and hopefully that'll be out soon, so get subscribed for that. Also, this printer came fully assembled, which is great because you can take it right out of the box and start printing. It's not so great when you have issues, because if you didn't put the thing together, it's kind of hard to know how it comes apart. So running into issues like this, which you're going to, there's no printer in the world that's going to run flawlessly forever. You're always going to have issues that you have to solve, and taking things apart, putting them back together is all part of the gig, and it looks like everything's working well. So make sure you get subscribed to the channel. Hope you like this little tiny video midweek. I'll see you in the next Fan Showdown. I'm glad the Qidi is back up and running. Till next time.